torque, how a body rotates, how a body basically turns, that is known as torque, right? So basically this torque depends upon three things, which are basically, first is our force, right? Second is the moment arm, or you can say basically the distance, right? The distance. And third is basically the angle of application of force. Basically, our torque depends upon three things: the force, the moment arm, basically the distance, right? And third is the angle of application of force. Basically, here it is talking about theta, right? It is talking about the theta, right? So now let's look at the formula of torque. Basically, this torque is represented by a alphabet known as tau, right? And it is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity, and it is written as r dot basically cross f, right? It is written like this, where f is a force and f is a vector. Basically, this torque is, this is known as tau. This is cross product. I hope you are done with the cross product. This is cross product, like when two vectors combine together and they form a vector quantity, that is known as cross product, right? That is known as cross product. So basically here, let's look at an example of this torque, right? Okay, so consider that this is a fan and we have to rotate this fan. We have to rotate. Now basically what will happen, I'll apply force, but what? There's a condition that the moment arm, like this is the moment arm. This is my moment arm and I'll show this with R. Right? This is my moment arm. The condition that the moment arm must be perpendicular to the force, then the torque will be produced. So now what will happen? Basically, I will not apply this force parallelly. I'll apply this force perpendicular to this moment arm, to this basically distance. So apply force like somehow in this way, right? Because I want to rotate. If I will apply the force in a parallel direction, for example, like this, so it will, like, you have to imagine this thing in 3D, that this with the straight force won't rotate this fan. What will do, it will actually try to detach it or try to lift it, but we don't want to lift this fan, we want to rotate this. What's the main purpose? We have to rotate this fan, so for that purpose we have to apply force in this direction, right? We have applied force in this direction. So as you know that there are two components of force, the vertical component and the horizontal component, right? So if we have, like, I have applied force in this direction, right? Now there will be two components. The first one, the basically the horizontal component, is known as F cos theta. This is known as F cos theta, right? And this one component is basically known as F sine theta. this component is known as f sine theta. And like you have to imagine this thing right now, that this f component, this basically this cos theta 1 component is not rotating this fan. As you can see, the momentum and this component force are both are parallel to each other, so the like the rotation is not possible over here. So how the rotation can be possible if over here this f sine theta and this r both are perpendicular, right? So this f sine theta component is basically producing the torque. So in the form of torque we will write r cross f sine theta, right? F sine theta, right? And we have to remember one thing, that the the f cos mm, theta is parallel to moment arm, so no rotation, there won't be any rotation by f cos theta, there will be only rotation by f sine theta, right? There will be rotation only by f sine theta, right? So I hope this is clear to you. Now let's look, like by this you have understood that there should the moment arm and the force should be perpendicular to each other in order to rotate something, right? So here we were having the fan, we can have anything else, right? So you can see over here in this picture too, that the distance, the momentum and the force both are perpendicular to each other. So now just look, like as I said, this torque is a vector quantity, right? I have marked over here this arrow which indicates that this torque is a vector quantity, right? So vector, it means it must have magnitude plus it must have direction. So now let's find out the direction of this torque, right? Okay, so now let's find the direction of torque, right? So basically we find the direction of, okay, as I said, this is cross product. And what happens in cross product? Basically this a, when we cross vector a vector cross b vector, it forms a b sine theta sine theta, and here n cap, which, what is this? This is n cap, also this is known as unit vector. What's the work of here? Basically this unit vector shows us the direction. This shows us the direction, right? And as you know that the direction of the cross product is we can find the direction by the right hand thumb rule, right? we can we can determine the direction by right hand thumb rule or by screw rule, right? So we can determine the direction of right hand rule or by screw. Now let's look what is this. Okay, consider that. Okay, let me have another fan over here. Hmm, okay, here we have our fan, right? Let me enlarge this. Okay, so here this is our fan and we have to find the direction, right? So consider that over here, this is our movement arm. Let me erase this. This is our movement arm, right? This is R, and I have applied force in this direction. And obviously there will be two components, the F cos theta and the F sine theta, right? And I want to actually find the direction. Now what I will do, I'll not add these. Let's suppose let's parallel shift of, like, we know that we are allowed to parallelly shift the vector. So now let's shift this vector, this R vector over here. Let's shift this over here, and we have the angle from here to here, right? This is our angle, and basically we have to find the direction. Why? What will happen, you have to curl your fingers from this vector R to vector F. Curl your finger and you will see your thumb will be pointing out towards the upside, basically towards the outward side, right? It will be pointing towards outward, right? Basically outward. So it means the direction is anti-clockwise, and which is basically taken as positive direction. And one more thing, that the symbol, or you can say, yeah, symbol of this outward direction is something like this. Here is a dot. This is the direction of this outward vector. So over here, what will be happening, we have to show the direction. What will happen, I'll put over here dot. I'll put over here dot. It means the direction of this torque is outward and is anti-clockwise, and it is positive, right? So now let's look into another example of the direction, which is the anti-clockwise, right? Sorry, the clockwise. Now let's have, okay, for example, right, and I have this is axial rotation, and I've applied force in this direction. I applied force in this direction, right? And this is my movement of arm. This is my movement of arm, and this is my angle theta. So angle my theta. So when you will curl your right finger from this movement of arm to force, you will see your thumb will be pointing out towards the inward side. Toward what? Basically, it will be pointing out towards inward. It means your torque is basically clockwise. And basically conventionally the clockwise is taken as negative. It is taken as negative, right? And basically the symbol of the clockwise torque is like this. It's like this. So here to indicate the direction, I'll put over here like this. This shows that the direction of my torque is clockwise, which is negative, right? So what is the conclusion over here? I hope this is clear to you. The conclusion is is turning effect the torque is turning effect of force about the axis passing from the line of action of the force. Now, what is the line of action of force? Basically, the point from where we apply the force is known as the line of action of force. Basically, this point, the where we have applied force, is known as line of action of force. So, torque is basically the turning effect. The torque is turning effect of force about the axis passing from the line of action of force. Right? So, I hope this is clear to you. If you have any kind of queries, you can ask me in the comment section. I'll be very happy to answer you guys.